In this video, I'm going to show you a little trick for factorizing algebraic expressions that have powers in them, indices basically, like I've circled there. And it's very systematic. So if you follow the process, step one, do this, step two, do that, you'll end up with the right answer every single time. I've got 4 examples here today. What I'm going to do is just 2 of them, and then the other 2 you can try yourself. And you can check your answers using the answer scheme I've attached below this video. So let's take a look at the first one, which is a pretty straightforward one. So factorizing means you have to take out letters or numbers that are common within the whole expression outside of the brackets. Whatever's left goes inside the bracket. So things that are common to each term, that's a term, there's another term, are taken outside of the bracket, and then things that are not common to each term go inside the bracket. So let's take a look at this first one. So the method is this, right? What you have to do, look at each term individually and then split it into parts. Split there and there and then there and then there, right? So you can see I've split it into numbers and then individual letters, right? So a letter with its power counts as one thing, and then numbers are separate. And then what we can do is we can number each of those individual parts. So 1, 2, 1, 2. And then the way to work it out is you compare, the method is compare like with like. So what does that mean? 1 with 1, 2 with 2, 3 with 3, and so on, until you have determined what is common to each term and therefore what should go outside of the brackets. So let's take a look at how this works. That's term 1, that's term 2. Just make this a little more clear for you. Okay, so in the first bit, we need to compare term 1 with term 1. So what's the highest thing that goes into 9 and 9? Well, the answer is obviously 9, so that's that done. Then we compare terms 2. So what's the highest thing that goes into u squared and u? The answer is u. So now they're compared. And then you can see once you've compared each individual part, you go back to the start, and now you put the bracket in. Okay, so we need to make a 9, and we've already got a 9 outside, so we don't do anything. We need to make a u squared, and we've already got a u outside, so we need to put another u inside, because u times u is u squared. Right, so that's the first term done. Now let's look at the second term. We need to make a 9, and we've already got a 9, so we don't do anything. And then we need to make a u, and we've already got a u outside, so again, we don't do anything. So that means inside, you're just going to have, by the way, the minus sign stays the same, you're just going to have 1, because 1 times 9u will make 9u. So that's how you do it. You split each individual term into parts. You number those parts, 1, 2, 3. Then you compare like with like until you've determined what goes outside of the bracket. And that will lead you to the correct answer. So we have 14x squared y cubed. Just writing this out a little bit more clearly. 4x cubed y squared. So get a different color. Let's split those terms. Number. Remember the power belongs to the letter, so that's counted as one split if you like. And we've got something that looks like that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Same process again. So let's compare the parts 1 and 1. What's the highest thing that goes into 14 and 4? The answer is 2. What's the highest thing that goes into x squared and x cubed? The answer is x squared. And now what's the highest thing that goes into y cubed and y squared? The answer is y squared. Because remember, y times y, and then y times y times y. So you can see y squared goes into y cubed. So you will see now I've ticked off all the parts. All of them are being compared. So the next thing that comes is the bracket. So let's go back to the start. Okay, we need to make 14, and we've got a 2 outside. So something times 2 makes 14. The answer is 7. We need to make x squared, and we've already got an x squared outside. So it would just be timing it by 1, so you don't do anything, just leave it. We need to make a y cubed, and we've got a y squared outside. So we need y. because y squared times y is y cubed. Next is the plus sign. Okay, we need to make a 4, and we've got a 2 outside, so we need a 2 because 2 times 2 is 4. We need to make an x cubed, and we've got an x squared outside, so we put x. And then finally, we need to make a y squared, but we've already got a y squared outside. We leave it. We don't do anything. And that's the answer. That's it. Done. What I would like you to do is this one and this one. Don't cheat. Have a go at these first and then check your answers using the mark scheme below. Just to recap, look at each individual expression, split it into parts, number those parts, then compare like with like as I illustrated there. Right, I hope that video was helpful. If you've had any value for today, please like and subscribe. It helps the channel massively. Check out all the other videos I produced on science and maths, and I will see you in the next one.